Welcome to the KZGN News. Today we're bringing news about water management, how to report storm damage, the proposed Kate's Law, today's KZGN Talking Points editorial, and much more.
From the Rademacher Hills to Bee Mountain and the mighty Sierras, Ridgecrest to Inyokern and China Lake, this is your news for the Indian Wells Valley with the KZGN News Crew.
Hello, I'm Tom Winnick. Thanks for joining us for the news affecting Ridgecrest and the Indian Wells Valley. In keeping up with the need to follow the state's law about water, here's news from the Indian Wells Valley Cooperative Groundwater Management Group, submitted by KZGN field reporter Tanya Pyle. At its regular monthly meeting last Thursday, the IWV Cooperative Groundwater Management Group introduced a legal team prepared to steer the group into an up-and-running groundwater sustainability agency. After a general introduction of all present, Kern County Counsel Terry Goldner introduced a two-man team she has designated to steer efforts toward successfully establishing a groundwater sustainability agency. The attorney team Antonia Rossman and Roger Moore of Rossman & Moore have 40 years' experience writing on comprehensive groundwater issues, policy and law, and are prepared to get the GSA up and running in a reasonable time frame. Rossman's East Kern water law experience dates back to 1976 when he served as Inyo County District Attorney over the Los Angeles and Owens Valley water struggles. Attorneys Rossman and Moore presented a graph of goals, including a notice of intent to form by January 2016. Other timeline goals included providing a joint powers authority of participants. The team will also develop a memorandum of understanding. They will meet with Indian tribes involved, and public meetings will be scheduled to gather public input, and a meeting with the County Board of Supervisors will be televised, all in an effort to drive support toward a plan for sustainability. Details of the process will fall on those with specific land use or delivery responsibilities and/or regulatory authority of water groups identified likely to be cooperative entities were the Navy, Kern County, the City of Ridgecrest, as well as private well owners and agricultural producers. Supervisor Mick Gleason affirmed his support for ag and well owners, saying they could form as an advisory committee. Gleason said he took the opportunity to fly the preeminent water lawyers over the Indian Wells Valley. He said they also sat down with Mayor Peggy Breeden and Indian Wells Valley Water District General Manager John Zadiba. The legal team reminded everyone that if a GSA is not established at the local level with a management plan, the state will move in and take over, and said there is therefore much incentive to produce a plan with a strong consensus. Did you or someone you know get damaged during the weekend storms? If you did, hear this report. The County of Kern Office of Emergency Services has dedicated a line to receive reports of property damage for assessment purposes. Residents are encouraged to dial 211 to report any damage to their home or property due to the recent flood events. Emergency calls should still be made to 911. Kern County Fire Explorer are currently volunteering at the David Head Center in Lamont, filling sandbags. Sand and sandbags are also provided by the Kern County Fire Department at Tank Park 1 and Lake Isabel and Tehachapi High School in Tehachapi. Sandbags, but no sand, are available at all Kern County fire stations. The American Red Cross is promoting their Safe and Well website, shown on the screen. 17 people have been given shelter during the recent floods. The website allows family members to check on the well-being of loved ones who have checked in to one of the shelters. Residents posting pictures and videos on social media of events and damage related to the flooding in Kern County are encouraged to utilize the hashtag KernFlood. Now here's an item I have been receiving from many people. It is one started by Bill O'Reilly on Fox News. In the aftermath of the senseless killing of Kate Steinel by a felon illegal alien, she was laid to rest by grieving family members and friends in a private funeral last Thursday. The 32-year-old woman was murdered last week allegedly by an illegal alien who had been previously deported 5 times and was shielded by San Francisco's sanctuary city policy. In his Talking Points memo, Bill O'Reilly called on Americans to come together to make sure that this doesn't happen again. He is pushing Congress to enact legislation to stop this continuous cycle of deporting illegal alien felons, only to have them come right back. Deportation is not working, he said. Bill O'Reilly is asking for those that agree that this new law is necessary to sign his petition to Congress to pass the law. The website is on the screen. Kate's parents are scheduled to appear today before a Senate committee taking the law under consideration. So if you agree, go to the website and sign the petition right away. Next, from the Kern County Sheriff's Office, they would like to warn Kern County residents of a possible phone scam. Recently, several county residents have reported receiving telephone calls from callers identifying themselves as employees of Kern County. The callers are offering homeowners energy efficiency inspections of their homes. On one occasion, the caller asked a homeowner if they could come out to the person's home to provide information on how their electricity bill can be reduced. The calls appear on a caller ID as if they originate from a Kern County phone line, 661-836-8312. However, Kern County does not have any such phone line. One of the calls received was a robocall from a business which identified itself as Sustainability Agency. A separate call originated from a person who called a county resident offering an energy inspection. Both calls came in from the same phone number. The Sheriff's Office would like to remind county residents to be guarded when receiving calls from unknown callers. Never provide an unknown caller personal information over the phone, and never allow a person you don't know into your home. Report any suspicious calls of incidents you believe may involve fraudulent activity. To report suspicious or possible fraudulent activity, call the Sheriff's Office at 661-861-3110. In other weekend storm news, fire departments and the Forest Service all over the Sierra Nevada mountain areas had numerous forest fires that had to be dealt with. Numerous lightning strikes ignited many wildland fires in the Western Divide Ranger District, Giant Sequoia National Monument, and Sequoia National Forest over the weekend. These were all caused by lightning strikes. While there is no total of the type fires, it is estimated that there are more than 20 of these lightning fires. Most fires were caught early and limited in damage to the very small area. Even though we've had some rain, I would like to remind our visitors that fire restrictions are still in effect and campfires and briquette barbecues are currently prohibited in the forest, stated District Ranger Eric LaPrice. The rain we received was not enough to reduce the fire danger in our forest. Visitors are asked to call ahead to check on conditions and obtain weather forecasts prior to traveling in the mountains. Please call 559-539-2807 Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. for latest fire and weather updates. Stay with us for KZGN's Talking Points editorial right after the break. Welcome back. Now it's time for the 60th KZGN News Talking Points editorial. Here's today's topic. Should case law be passed? But first, some comments about the last editorial titled, Are you ready to have chickens in your neighbor's yard? Well, this one generated quite a bit of discussion on the blogs. A quick summary is that the Planning Commission is taking up the topic about allowing chickens in residential zones in the city. There were so many comments, both pro and con, that I'll just do a quick summary. Susie wrote, No, chickens do not belong in the city. Gail wrote, So it's okay to have two if you can take care of them. Brian said, Yes, I love the idea. I can have fresh eggs again. Larry added, I'm not in favor of chickens on 6,000 square foot lots. Chickens don't belong in the city. If you want chickens, move out into the county. Wally wrote, Often I don't agree with Tom, but he's spot on. No more animals. This is a city. Mary wrote, Let the neighbors have chickens. Scott said, Well, I wouldn't keep a chicken coop myself, but it wouldn't bother me if the neighbors wanted a couple chickens if they keep things clean. And Gary said, People can't control their dogs and cats. Now we'll have chickens running in the streets? Bring more coyotes into the town? Let's leave well enough alone. And a close by Ken. This is a very unique comment. I got a barrel of flour, Lord. I got a bucket of lard. I ain't going no blues. I got chickens in my backyard. So that's the quick summary of the comments. It seemed many pro comments had to do with wanting to have fresh eggs or to save money on eggs. The no comments centered on noise and health concerns, including the fear of animals being a draw for bobcats and coyotes coming into backyards. And animal control has confirmed that this has happened before and will happen again, resulting in neighbors now being afraid to let their dogs and cats out in their yards at night. So I stand by my position. I'm against allowing chickens in residential neighborhoods. This city does not need another problem, and allowing chickens will bring in a large problem for animal control and code enforcement. And I guarantee, while some may follow the code, many will not, and then we'll start all the city effort to correct the problem. And the neighbors will be stripped of their right to peaceful enjoyment of their own yards due to noise and smell of fowl next door, and fear of possible attacks on their own pets in their own yard. Now on to today's editorial topic. Should Kate's Law be passed? As I reported earlier in today's news, it is a law started by Bill O'Reilly of Fox News. In the aftermath of the senseless killing of Kate Steinle by an illegal alien felon who had been previously deported 5 times, O'Reilly has started a movement to pass Kate's Law. This law would require any illegal alien felon that had been previously deported and re-enters into the United States illegally and gets caught to be sentenced to a minimum of 5 years in jail and again be deported when released. And for additional illegal crossings, the sentences would go up. So that's a summary of the proposed Kate's Law. O'Reilly has started an internet petition to allow supporters to sign it, and he will then forward the petition to Congress. Last night, O'Reilly reported that the petition had already over 600,000 signatures. That's a lot of signatures. Well, as can be expected, the people against it are trying to turn it into a race issue against Mexicans. Their argument is that these are mostly good people just trying to improve their lives. But it has to be clear, this is not against Mexicans. It is not about good people. It's about any felon that enters the United States illegally. It's about bad criminals entering our country illegally. Any race, any color, any whatever. We have a right to be protected against criminals, and Congress and the President are constitutionally required to provide for our defense from enemies, foreign and domestic. They took an oath of office to do just that. And our state representatives took the same oath. They need to do their job. There is nothing in our Constitution that says we have to let felons into our country. There is no law that allows illegal border crossings. We are a country of laws. And for those that choose to break our laws, then there is consequences to that illegal action. It's called prison. Kate's Law provides a new means to discourage bad people from coming back into our country. It provides mandatory jail time for these repeat bad criminals. Call them what they are. These people the law targets are bad criminals that intend to hurt law-abiding citizens. If someone wants to argue mandatory jail time is too harsh, well, what about the harshness they inflict on their victims? Remember, a felony is not just a crime like shoplifting and basic crimes. It's not about misdemeanor crimes. It's about felons. It's about bad people. It's about murderers, assault, weapons crimes, rapists, gang bosses, home invasions with guns, robberies, and all the other felonies. So let's get off the sentiment it's about Mexicans. It's not. It's about illegal aliens, felons, that cross our border illegally to get us in our country. Hey, stay in your own country and hurt your own people there. We don't need it here. In conclusion, the government has a duty to do all they can to protect us from criminals. Kate's Law is a good step in that effort. Hey, Congress, hey, Mr. President, it's your constitutional responsibility. You took an oath in office to provide for our defense from enemies, foreign and domestic. Pass this law. I'm Tom Whitnick, and that's what I think. I'd like to know what you think. If you have any comments about this editorial or would like to discuss or recommend a topic, I'd like to hear from you. Please email them to info@kzgn.net. Stay tuned for weather and sports when we come back. Thanks for staying with us. Let's go to Keith for the weather.
Thank you, Tom. From the National Weather Service, the heat wave that is gripping parts of the southern and eastern U.S. will continue on. Heat index values as high as 100 to 110 degrees. Heat advisories are in effect or will be in effect across parts of the deep south, southeast, and mid-Atlantic. Extra precaution outside is suggested. Temperatures across the nation. North Carolina came in at 84, Georgia 87, Texas 78, New Mexico 70, and Los Angeles came in today at 68 degrees. For our forecast here in the IWV, tonight we still have a chance of showers and thunderstorms, but mostly clear with a low around 73, south wind 10 miles per hour with gusts as high as 15. Wednesday will be sunny with a high near 96, south wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday night, mostly clear with a low around 72, south wind 10 to 15 miles per hour with gusts as high as 20. Thursday will be sunny with a high near 97, south-southeast wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. Thursday night, mostly clear with a low around 70, south wind 10 to 15 miles per hour. And on Friday, sunny with a high near 98, west-southwest wind 5 miles per hour. And that is your forecast for the IWV. Now back to Tom and the rest of your KZGN News.
Thanks, Keith. Now Tom Eck with sports.
A very pleasant Tuesday afternoon to everyone. Start with a local note. At the Saracoso basketball camp, we had over 50 young players yesterday, and a lot of great kids coming in, and we're going to have a fun week up here. And there's another camp on August the 4th, and that lasts through August the 7th. If you're interested in that camp, you can call 760-384-6384. Again, that's the Saracoso College basketball camps. The baseball camp was last week at Saracoso. They had over 40 youngsters participate in that. They had a fun time, a lot of skills learned also. And volleyball had a camp at Saracoso last week. They had over 35 players there, a very successful camp run by head coach Kim Young. The baseball camp run by our new head baseball coach, Justice Scott, who's done a great job, and boy, he's got a lot of good baseball players coming in recruiting-wise, and we'll talk more with him on our Tuesday night shows upcoming in the fall. All right, let's talk about Major League Baseball. No worries for the Angels. They actually demolished. I'd like to think of a stronger word than that. They just tore apart the Boston Red Sox. 4 straight games. They sweep the Sox. The Angels win a doubleheader yesterday, 11-1, and they win the nightcap 8-3. The Angels right now are 2.5 games in first place. Houston was idle yesterday. The Astros, who have been really struggling, is the only other team over 500 in the American League West, or maybe we should call it the American League Worst, because really, with the exception of Houston and the Angels, nobody else is doing much at all, or has done much at all season, or even looks to do much at all season. Now, on Sunday night, a phenomenon happened. There was a rainout in Anaheim Stadium. It was the first rainout of an Angel game since 1995. It's been 20 years since the Angels had been rained out of a baseball game in Anaheim. It had been 4 years since there was even a rain delay. There were over 1,650 games in a row the Angels had without a rainout until Sunday night against Boston. The Angels, Dodgers, and San Francisco are the top 3 teams for consecutive games without a rainout. Well, the Angels were. The Padres also got rained out Sunday night in San Diego. Now, interesting, Mike Trout, the 2-time MVP of the All-Star game and the Angels slugger leading the majors in home runs, Mike Trout was only 3 years old back in 1995, and rumor has it, they say, that Mike Trout hit for the cycle in a T-ball game that year. Well, that's how good Mike Trout is. All right, Atlanta beats the Dodgers 7-5. The Dodgers won 2 of 3 the past weekend in Washington. Philadelphia beats Tampa Bay. Pittsburgh over Kansas City in a battle of the teams that are fighting for a playoff. Now, Pittsburgh has lost Jody Mercer, their fine second baseman. He'll be out for a knee injury the rest of the year. Colorado beat Texas 8-7. The Rangers have no pitching. Arizona over Florida. Cincinnati beat Chicago. I think Joe Madden, the Cubs skipper, might be second-guessing his decision to leave Tampa to come to the Cubs. Washington over the Mets, and San Diego beats San Francisco. All right. It'll be Boston and Houston tonight. The Angels will be at home. They'll play Minnesota, and the Dodgers in Georgia to play the Braves game 2. Golf fans at St. Andrews yesterday, Zach Johnson wins the British Open. He won the playoff hole. He had a 15 under par for the championship series. That is phenomenal. It was a great tournament, and if you like weather conditions, all kinds of them, wind, rain, all kinds of things happening, high winds. They had almost, it It was 58 degrees to start one round in the morning with the wind blowing. It was quite an adventure for the golfers there. Phil Mickelson, who has won that thing a couple of times, finished 20th. Tiger Woods, a past winner also, didn't qualify for the last two rounds. That's your sports for this Tuesday. I'm Tom Heck for KZGN.
So that's the news for today. All of us at KZGN-TV know you have a choice in what you watch for your news. We all thank you for choosing KZGN-TV, Ridgecrest's only locally owned community TV station. Coming up next, Ridgecrest Talk.